Hey guys, welcome to StudyIQ. Today we are going to have a very interesting discussion about a term called as Bidenomics. Alright, so in this particular discussion, we are going to have a little critical discussion about Biden's economic policies, whatever we have seen in a short span. So we'll understand the meaning of the term Bidenomics and we are going to answer a question: will Bidenomics bring huge change or a long-lasting change in US economy? Why we are discussing this? See, we all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has left the entire world in a very sad state, especially economically. There has been a slowdown everywhere. India is no exception, US is no exception. So we are going to talk about economic policies and how such policies can bring a meaningful change in economies. You might ask a question: sir, how is this going to help me in my preparation? If you are an aspirant, you can ask, sir, how is this going to help me in UPSC Civil Services Examination? You may not get a direct question, but perhaps you can do a connectivity here about Bidenomics versus Abenomics, that is previously Shinzo Abe's economic policies, or maybe compare Bidenomics with Modinomics in India. But from a macro perspective, you are going to get a very insightful idea from this discussion. We are talking about Bidenomics, which is related to United States of America. Now, USA is a symbol of what? It's a symbol of capitalism. So, a country which is symbolic of capitalism is going for more and more socialist ideas, socialist steps. That is what we are going to discuss from this particular video. We are going to talk about how socialism or how welfare statism has become very prominent even in the Western countries. So let's talk about this and let's get the ideas and answers to some of the questions in this particular discussion. So stay tuned with me. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonkar. Let's first observe something. What are we going to observe? See, we see COVID-19 has left a big trail in the whole world. Even till today, we are fighting with COVID-19 pandemic. Every nation is grappling with economic issues and US is no exception. See, if we talk about United States, it's actually number one in terms of the COVID-19 cases. As of May 2021, we see that there are 3.33 crore cases in United States and the death rate is very high. You will see 5.94 lakh deaths in USA. India is not far behind. If we see the worldwide cases, there are about 17 crore cases. And the top two countries, USA and India, they comprise of about 6 crore cases, which is a huge number, isn't it? And both are reeling with economic problems. So today we are going to talk about how US is reeling with economic slowdown and what it is trying to get out of it. So here we are going to understand about a term known as Bidenomics. Now, what is Bidenomics? Bidenomics, first of all, is the economic principles of Joe Biden administration. First of all, we need to be sympathetic with Joe Biden. And regarding Bidenomics, we are not supposed to judge Bidenomics so quickly, but still we are going to have a critical discussion. Because, see, it is very short duration. In January, Joe Biden took over from Donald Trump. And we see the Trump administration was rather apathetic towards the COVID-19 situation. But from the time Joe Biden has taken over, he has been very much progressive, especially in terms of curbing the COVID-19 pandemic and also focusing on bringing back the American economy on track. So, what exactly are the policies or the plans that have been brought by Biden? Let's talk about those. Biden has announced 3 huge economic programs. First one is $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, 1.8 trillion American Families Plan and 2.3 trillion American Jobs Plan. So we are going to understand these 3 plans under the term Bidenomics because these are the economic principles of Biden. Again, you can just make an analogy with Indian version. Last year, if you remember, Indian government had announced an economic package of about 20 lakh crore with the nomenclature of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So this you can call Modinomics, right? Modi's economic principles to bring back India from the economic slowdown. So here we're going to talk about Bidenomics and we are going to understand these 3 plans. Predominantly, we're going to focus on one American Jobs Plan, which has the potential to create more and more jobs and bring back economy on track. But we are going to have a critical discussion here and understand these 3 from the documents, right? But before that, the big question in front of us is that there are headline generating numbers here. What are the headline generating numbers? In terms of trillions of dollars, that means about $1,900 billion on American Rescue Plan. So huge numbers, these headline generating numbers. Will they bring a lasting change in USA? That is the question in front of us. So we are going to answer this through the government document itself. Let's try to understand the American Rescue Plan, the American Families Plan, and the American Job Plan. For your reference, I've put the links also here. You can simply search and find these documents. See, let's first talk about the American Rescue Plan. By the name itself, it is a rescue. That means it is some sort of a relief, rescue, rehabilitation program for COVID-19. Now, if you look at the details, you'll see that the US administration, through this particular plan, is going to mount a vaccination program to contain COVID-19 and safely reopen schools. It is going to focus on delivering immediate relief to American families through directly money in their pockets, help Americans in social distancing to stay at their home, increase their nutrition. Apart from that, they also try to focus on supporting the communities who are struggling in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. So the first plan, American Rescue Plan, is purely with respect to COVID-19 fight. That means immediate relief. But the other two plans, specifically the American Families Plan, it tries to bring back the American families into the American economy. How? Now, if you look at this American Economies Plan, huge amount of funding has gone to this $1.8 trillion. First of all, through this particular money, now you can focus here on the words to grow the middle class, expand the benefits of economic growth to all Americans, and leave United States more competitive. Biden's American Family Plan will focus on providing at least 4 years of free education, providing direct support to children and families. Direct support, how? They are going to give about $1,400 per person in a family, directly money in the account, so that they can invest back in the American economy, and also extend tax cut for families with children and American workers. Now, first of all, it's a very good plan, but the Biden administration is now threatened with a situation of higher inflation in America, because if we directly pump in money into the pockets of families here, directly money is being pumped into the economy, there is always a danger of inflation. But nonetheless, a decent plan which will help the families to scrape through the period of COVID-19 and probably also enhance the demand in American economy. But the third facet of Bidenomics is the American Jobs Plan, which is perhaps the huge, with a huge funding of $2.3 trillion, right? The problem is with this. Now, let's try to understand what American Jobs Plan really wants to do. See, the objectives of the plan is to enhance the American jobs, is to develop infrastructure, is to develop clean energy through measures like what? Fixing highways, rebuilding bridges, upgrade ports, airports, and transit systems. The next is delivering clean drinking water, renewed electric grid, and high-speed broadband to Americans. Now, if we talk about broadband, see, 70% Americans already have broadband connection. But if we compare with, say, European Union, probably Germany, they have about 90% families have broadband connectivity. So US wants to catch up with them, which is very fine. But again, let's talk about the pointers next. Build, preserve, and retrofit. Build, preserve, and retrofit more than 2 million homes, commercial buildings, veteran hospitals, and other hospitals, and also solidify infrastructure in the care economy by creating jobs and raising the wages. Now, if we talk about the wages, the Americans give decent wages, but still lower than European Union. But when you read about all these plans, can you connect it with one of the Indian programs? Now, what I feel after reading all this, it is like the American version of MG Narega program. Why? Because they are going to rebuild the infrastructure, upgrade the airports, upgrade the highways, upgrade the infrastructure. Let's hope that at least US's MG Narega would ultimately build the assets, because in India, assets are missing, isn't it? So on a lighter note, I just told that. But in this particular plan, American administration has enunciated that who will get the jobs or who can get the jobs under American Jobs Plan. It is the people who do not even have a degree. Such people can also get American jobs under this job plan. Now, from this particular discussion, I hope you understand what is the problem here. All these plans, they do not have a futuristic outlook. They right now focus on COVID-19, which is very good. But let's go back to question and let's try to answer it. Our question was what? The money is immense in terms of trillions of dollars, but will it lead to long-lasting changes? That is the question. The answer to that right now would be perhaps not. Right now, it may not bring a long-lasting change. But what can be the advantages of it? See, there will be twofold advantages. The first thing is that, yes, obviously, it is going to give immediate relief to American people. Because see, through the rescue plan, through the families plan, money is directly being put into American pockets. It's like the direct benefit transfer that we do in India. Tax credit is being given to children, American people, American citizens, which is very good. This way, the American demand is going to increase. The second important benefit, especially from the job plan, would be that the worker vote would go to Democrats. And if we look at this, it is going to help Biden electorally. Why? Because this particular class, traditionally the middle class, the worker class, they have been supporting Donald Trump, who was able to garner these votes in 2016, isn't it? But again, a very important pointer here to understand from all these three plans for us is that be it the Democrats or be it the Republicans, both of them, they are the symbolism of capitalism in USA, isn't it? Although if we compare, the Democrats would be more towards welfare state, but here this is extreme welfare statism even by Democrats, where they have given huge packages, directly giving money to people, directly trying to enhance demand in America. Yes, in short term, it is going to give some solutions to America's economy's problems, but will it give long-lasting solutions? Perhaps not. Why? Because Biden administration has probably missed a trick here. See, America is right now looking at many technological disruptions. The Americans, not just Americans, I would say even the developed countries' economies, they have rather lost their competitive edge. So what Biden administration has missed out here is some sort of a structural response to revamping the American economy. This is something which is missing from Bidenomics as of now. Again, I told you we need to be sympathetic with Biden administration and Bidenomics because these are still early days, but right now, from whatever plans we have seen, they are rather short-term solutions for COVID-19 problem, immediate relief to COVID suffering people, but for a long-lasting solution in American economy, there is a need of a structural response from Biden administration, and let's hope that comes soon. I hope this was interesting discussion for you. That's it right now from my side. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.